every beautiful metropolis in America and across Canada has a culinary scene, and New York has its flavor, and Boston has its flavor, and without a doubt, Dallas has its flavor, and I suspect you might be a bit of an influencer in that area. Tell us about it. Oh, modest. Tell us about why your passion is here and what you've done to change people's tastes about food, maybe.
Well, my passion is really about Texas food. I'm a fifth-generation Texan, and I was raised on chilies and barbecue, and so I still do those things, but I put them in. Do things like lobster tamales and shrimp tacos, and so I've used Texas ingredients, but I've really refined it, and this is kind of the apex, I would think, of where I've brought Texas food. I call this refined. No, what do I call it? Elevated Texas cuisine. And when I figure out exactly what that is, I'll let you know. But it sounds good, right?
It sounds very fancy. A little expensive too, perhaps.
Oh, there is that. But it's the rent. It's the rent.
It's the
rent. Right.
No, it's the amazing food. So, did you want to ask me?
Yeah. So you've got more than one place in town. What's the difference between the two of them?
Well, interestingly enough, they're both Texas, and that's in quotes because I don't think people would necessarily think of this as Texan until they start to eat the food and realize there's a lot of masa and chilies, and it's, like I said, very refined, but it's at the base very Texas. The other restaurant, Stampede 66, is kind of Texas in your face.
Oh.
So it's it looks like Texas. It's all the honey fried chicken, barbecued brisket, frito chili pie, all the things that are just absolutely inherent in Texas.
So we're heading into a room right now that's more of a private setting. Mm-hmm. You have a big, beautiful restaurant here, but when you go through these doors, it's more of a separate experience. So maybe it's a small wedding party, or maybe it's a business meeting, or maybe it's a cooking lesson, right?
Well, it's a private dining room, first and foremost. So we have private functions in here of up to 20, mm-hmm. but we certainly do wine dinners, cooking classes, wedding rehearsal, dinner, or whatever.
What's a wine dinner? I just stopped there
for a second.
Well,
a wine dinner, we bring in a winemaker.
Okay.
And we build courses around his or her wines.
Oh, okay.
So it's usually a 4 to 5 course tasting, but you're highlighting the wine.
I thought it was just wine for dinner,
no,
that would have been yummy.
Well, I have a kind of a liquid household, but no, I like to throw some food in there too.
Okay, spoiler.
Okay, so I'm going to steal this for a second because, I mean, when people come to a different city, and in this case, a different country for our listeners, mm-hmm. They want to go to places that are completely unlike anything they've got at home, right? And so it's with that in mind, I'm stealing you to come over here and talk to me about the door and the screens here. What is this about?
Well, voila, we're going to open these. This is your own private kitchen back here. So this is pastry kitchen by day, and by night it is private dining room, or if we want to have cooking classes, the wine dinner. So you have your own chefs, and it's just, and we always do the big reveal after the first course. I mean, as the first course comes out. Often the host or hostess knows what's going on, but the rest of the diners don't, and they're like, oh, the wall's open. So it's kind of cool. And then these are really to kind of give you an idea of what's happening back there, but they're absolutely essential for cooking class. It's like the old mirrors. So you have your chopping is seen up close there, and then cooking on the oven is and stove are here.
I'm going to throw this to Sam in a second, but I want to ask you one more question because I love asking chefs about this. So there was a series that Rocco DiSpirito was on for a while. It was a reality show called The Restaurant, and it was about his New York, right? Oh
my God, that was just every chef that watched that cringed because it's it's all real. I mean, that's exactly what it feels like to open a restaurant. But imagine having a camera in your face when you're doing it.
Well, and so that was the thing, is there was that climactic moment, I think it was even in the first season, where the pressure's gotten to him and he just needs to get back to basics, and he goes into the kitchen and he grabs a couple of chef's knives and he starts chopping parsley. So I want to know, when you just want to get back to the basics and you need a few minutes to do the one thing you do best, mm-hmm. What's the thing?
Slip out and get a taco.
All right, well, that's a perfect answer then.
Okay, so you've got 2 restaurants. I'll just ask you this very quickly because That was pretty much the answer of all answers, so we loved that. But let me just ask you, so if you had to pick a restaurant, which one would you go to for dinner of the two? Which do you prefer?
That's a hard question. I like them both. But,
Right.
you know, I'll tell you this. I'm often asked what my last meal would be.
Yeah.
And I say it's honey fried chicken.
Oh, so
and
you go
that's
over to the
Stampede
other- okay,
66.
very
Yeah.
good,
We
very
do
good.
something really fun with the fried chicken. I said it was my grandmother's recipe, and she marinated in honey and vinegar and overnight and then cooked it, but it has to be cooked so slowly because the honey will caramelize and actually burn.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to cook it so slow, and it's not practical in a restaurant to do that, to cook fried chicken for 45 minutes. So we did the next best thing, and we marinated in buttermilk like she did. They're cooked sous vide for about 2 hours, so they're perfectly, you know, tender and ready to go. And then they're just breaded, fried. It's actually healthy, but who wants to know fried chicken is healthy? So
Yeah.
we don't promote that. So it's only fried for about 5 minutes, and then we take a big culinary hypodermic needle and inject it with a warm local honey.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes, please.
It's very
Okay.
good.
Yes.
It's very good.
Wow.
So-
I'm just go sit right over there, and I'm just going to hope somebody brings me that in a wheelbarrow. We'll be out there. Thank you so much, Chef.
You're welcome.